Sometimes the fight finds you, not because you chose it, but because it was yours all along. It doesn't come with a warning, no permission slip, no guarantee of success, only a whisper that says, "This is your moment, show up." You see, life doesn't wait for you to feel ready. The battle won't pause until your confidence catches up, and destiny, it doesn't knock, it breaks in. In that moment, everything slows. You remember the voice, the doubt, the fear, the 1,000 reasons to quit before even starting. But you also remember this, you've survived worse. That pain, that storm, you didn't just endure it, you grew through it. And here's what they don't tell you. The strongest people you know were once exactly where you are now. Lost, scared, doubting everything. But still, they decided to keep going. Because mental toughness isn't a gift, it's a decision, a choice, over and over again. I will not quit. It's not a slogan, it's a vow, a quiet promise to yourself when the lights are off and no one's watching. It's how you move when you have nothing left. It's who you become when no one believes but you. You don't need perfect conditions. You need one reason, one spark, one why. So pause right here and ask yourself, why are you still standing? That's your fuel. That's your fire. That's the voice that will carry you when your strength is gone and your heart is breaking. Because the truth is, you were never weak. You were just early in the process. And every scar, it's not a failure. It's a signature that you kept fighting. So no, don't apologize for stumbling. Don't regret the days you wanted to stay down. Just get up, again and again. Because every time you rise, you prove it. This battle didn't choose wrong. You were made for this. Stay with me. Because what comes next will test you even more. So many people never make it, not because they weren't capable, but because they forgot why they started. They stopped listening to the fire, the voice, the ache that said, "Don't stop here." They looked outside for permission when all they needed was a decision. Do you feel that? That weight in your chest? That tightening in your stomach? That's not fear. That's your potential. Waking up. You're not here by chance. You're here by choice, by grit, by fire, by something unexplainable inside you that refuses to give up. This is not about motivation. This is about memory. Remember who you were before they told you who to be. Remember the version of you that kept going before they gave you the rules. Remember that moment when everything said stop and you whispered back, "No, not yet." That whisper, that's who you are. And even now, even with all the doubt, the tired bones, the scarred soul, even now, you are still that person. So no, you don't need to become someone new. You just need to remember who you were before the world made you forget. You don't have to shout. You don't have to post about it. You just have to decide, right here, right now, I'm still in this. Because the hardest part isn't the climb. It's convincing yourself you're still worthy of rising. And you are. You are. So take the next breath. Take the next step. Take the next hit. And keep moving. Because what's waiting for you isn't more pain. It's power. But only if you don't stop now. And when it gets silent again, when the noise dies down and you're left with just you, ask yourself one more time, what if this isn't the end? What if this is the chapter where everything changes, where the pain becomes purpose, where the scars become fuel, where you become undeniable? Don't stop now, because in the next chapter, you're going to remember why you were born for this fight. And nothing, absolutely nothing, can break a soul that refuses to quit. You want to know what separates those who make it from those who don't? It's not talent. It's not luck. It's not even timing. It's this. They kept going when it stopped making sense. They moved when everything screamed stop. They chose fight, even when no one else would have blamed them for quitting. Because at some point, it's no longer about proving others wrong. It's about proving to yourself that your soul is stronger than your excuses. This is the fire inside you. Not the flashy, loud fire that burns out in a moment, but the quiet one, the stubborn one, the one that refuses to go out, even when the wind howls. That's mental toughness. Not shouting louder, not pretending you're okay, but standing there, raw and real, saying, "I'm still here," even when the losses pile up, even when your legs shake, even when your voice trembles with fear. Especially then. Because in that raw moment, you stop being a version of who you thought you were and start becoming who you're meant to be. You stop chasing comfort and start chasing clarity. You stop blaming pain and start building power. This fire, it doesn't demand attention, it demands decision. And your decision today to take one more step when you could have stayed down changes everything. You don't need to light the whole world on fire. You just need to keep your flame alive for one more breath. So breathe, because tomorrow's strength is being built in today's struggle. And the world? It doesn't need more noise. It needs more people who've walked through fire and didn't let it burn their heart out. That's you. Don't hide your scars. Don't apologize for the pain. Don't pretend it was easy. Own it. All of it. Because that fire inside you isn't a weakness. It's the proof that you were always stronger than you thought. And soon, you'll understand why you had to walk through this. So stay in the heat. Because on the other side of pain is purpose. Let me tell you what most won't. There will be days when your fire dims, when the silence is so loud it hurts, when the mirror shows a face you barely recognize, and in those moments, you'll want to disappear, to fade quietly because trying hurts more than quitting. But listen closely, that's the moment that matters most. Because mental toughness isn't just how hard you hit. It's how long you stay in the ring when you're tired, bleeding, and still swinging. This journey, it's not supposed to be pretty. It's supposed to be honest, and sometimes honesty means breaking, crumbling, falling apart so you can rebuild stronger. So cry if you need to, yell if it helps, but don't confuse breaking with breaking down. You're not broken, you're breaking open. So others can see what real resilience looks like, you, a soul on fire that didn't go out when it was dark. A fighter who chose the next breath, not the exit. And when you think you've gone as far as you can, go one more. Because the next step, that impossible, terrifying next step, is what turns pain into power. Not overnight, not in a flash, but slowly, deliberately, like fire carving stone. This is where strength is born, in the unseen steps, in the silent battles, in the relentless decision to stay in it. So stay. Let the fire refine you, not define you. Because next, you're going to remember what it feels like to be unstoppable. And I'll be right here with you, still burning. So what now? Now, you stop waiting for permission. You stop seeking approval. You stop explaining your fire to those who only know smoke. And you remember, you are not here to survive. You are here to rise. Mental toughness isn't about looking fearless. It's about acting brave when fear is sitting on your chest. It's about moving forward when everything inside screams run. So yes, you're scared. Yes, it hurts. Yes, it's hard. And you're still going. That is strength. That is the fire no one can take from you. Let it guide you now, because in the next part of this journey, you'll stop fighting for survival and start choosing greatness. Don't look away. The fire is just getting started. So what do you do when your hands are shaking, your legs are weak, and your hope feels like it's hanging by a thread? You dig deeper, not because it's heroic, but because there's no other way forward. That's mental toughness. It's not about pretending. It's about choosing. Choosing the hard thing, even when the easy way is screaming your name. Choosing discipline when motivation is nowhere to be found. Choosing to keep walking when crawling is the best you can do. Every step you take right now is one more they didn't expect you to survive. You hear me? Every breath you take is a declaration that you are not done yet. Let that settle in. You, right now, are proof that strength isn't built in comfort. It's forged in moments like this. When the path is steep and your vision is blurry and no one is clapping, you go anyway. Because you don't do this for applause. You do this because something inside you refuses to stop. This is your climb, your story, your mountain, and no one can take that from you. Let the pain come, let the doubt whisper, let the world misunderstand you. But you keep going. Not louder, not faster, just forward. Because forward is where your power lives. And maybe the world won't notice today. Maybe it never will. But one day, you'll look back at this moment and know it was the turning point. Not because it looked impressive, but because you didn't quit. So take one more step. Not for them, for you. The one who stayed. The one who fought quietly. The one who never stopped climbing. This is your reminder. You are not lost. You are becoming. And everything you've walked through, every scar, every setback, every silent scream has been leading you here. To this moment. To this fire, to this rise. The truth is, the mountain doesn't care how you climb. It only asks one thing, that you don't stop. That's where real strength lives, in the stumbles, in the silence, in the days where victory is just showing up. So if today all you did was show up, that's enough. Mental toughness isn't flashy, it's not loud, it's quiet, relentless, rooted. It's the decision to believe, even when belief feels like a whisper in the dark. And those whispers, they matter, because they're yours. They come from the deepest part of you that still believes there's more, even when the world tells you less. So when you hear them, don't dismiss them. Lean in. Let them remind you your pain has a purpose. Your struggle is sacred. Your path is yours alone. And every step you take, even the unseen ones, builds something unbreakable in you. You. This isn't about being fearless. It's about walking with fear and choosing courage anyway. So breathe again. Stand again. Move again. Because this climb, it's becoming your breakthrough. You're not who you were. You're not who they said you were. You are rising. You are choosing. You are becoming. And what's next will demand even more. But you won't be alone, because every step has brought you closer, not to the end, but to the truth of who you are. Unshakable. Let's keep going. The summit is calling. So when the voice inside says you can't do this, you answer, I already am. You answer by rising when no one sees, by enduring when nothing makes sense, by holding on when letting go feels easier. And in that moment, you stop surviving. You begin leading. Leading yourself through the fog, through the fear, through the fatigue. And no, you don't have all the answers. You don't need them, because what you have is enough. A will that won't break, a heart that won't quit, a fire that won't die. That's what makes you unstoppable. That's what makes this your time. So take a breath and step forward. You're closer than you think. And on the other side of this climb is the version of you who knows exactly why you never gave up. Let's find them. This is where the story changes. Not because the pain stopped, not because the path got easier, but because you stopped waiting for something to save you. You became your own rescue. That's mental toughness. It's not measured in how many times you win, but in how often you choose to rise after no one was watching. You've crawled through dark days, you've stood in storms, you've stared down your limits and said, I'm not done. That voice inside you, the one that says, keep going even when it doesn't make sense, that's your power. The quiet strength that builds when everything else breaks. And now, you're no longer surviving. You're rising. This isn't the end. This is the beginning of a relentless version of you. One who doesn't chase validation. One who walks with scars and doesn't flinch. One who knows pain and still chooses purpose. You are becoming everything they said you couldn't be, and more. Because the climb never broke you, it built you. This is your moment. To rise, not in spite of the fire, but because of it. To lead, not because you have no fear, but because you've learned to walk through it. You are not defined by what tried to break you. You are defined by what you built from it. And what you're building is something unshakable. So look back, just for a moment, not to mourn what was lost, but to honor who you were before you found your strength. And now, look forward. Because what's coming is the version of you who no longer doubts, who no longer hides, who no longer waits. This is the moment. So breathe deep and rise. Because the world isn't changed by those who almost made it. It's changed by those who wouldn't quit. You're not done. You're just beginning. And if you ever forget who you are, remember the fire. Remember the fight. Remember the rise. Remember, you're already the proof. And if this speaks to your soul, come walk with us. This is the Unbroken, and your story is just getting started. The truth is, not everyone will understand this path. They'll see your calm, not your chaos. They'll admire your strength, but never feel the weight you carry in silence. But you will keep going. Because you didn't come this far just to be seen. You came to become. And becoming, it's brutal, it's messy. It asks everything from you, but it also gives something back. Clarity, conviction, the unshakable belief that even in the hardest moments, you are enough. So here you are, scarred but steady, tired but unyielding, afraid but never backing down. And this version of you doesn't beg the world to notice. It builds something too strong to ignore, because mental toughness was never about loud declarations. It was about the silent decisions you made when no one clapped. You chose to keep going, to dig in, to hold the line when everything said, let go. That choice, that's your legacy. Not perfection, not the easy win, but the relentless rise. So one last time, when you feel small, when the weight gets heavy, when doubt crawls in again, remember this. You have walked through fire and refused to burn. You have lost and chosen to love again. You have fallen and still dared to rise. And that is the kind of power this world needs more of. Not louder, not prouder, just truer. This is your time. Own it. Stand in it. And if this voice still echoes something you know to be true, then welcome home. You're one of us. This is The Unbroken. So here's what you do now. You take everything, the pain, the fear, the silence, the sweat, and you let it shape you, not define you. Because in the end, this life doesn't ask you to be perfect. It asks you to be present, to show up even when you're unsure, to try again even when yesterday broke you, to believe, not because it's easy, but because it's necessary. You owe that to the version of you who never stopped hoping. So rise, stand taller, not because the world told you to, but because you remembered who you are. You remembered the fire, the climb, the choice, and you made it. Not to the end, but to the beginning of something unstoppable. This isn't where you quit. This is where you lead. This is where you live. This is where you remember. You were never broken. You were just beginning. Welcome to Mindset Mastery Hub.